Hey Scrollers, Bob here. I've had some questions about this final exam, and I guess I figured I need to do this a little bit differently because there seems to be a little bit of confusion about how to do some things. So I'm going to make a new pattern with the waist areas designated so that you know what the waist area is when you're cutting. That's important. Some of these cuts you need to be able to determine, are you going to go past this line or are you going to nibble away in here? You know, same thing here. Here we're keeping this area, so we just want to come down here and go past everything and then come back, do a loop and come back in, and you got a perfect point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the entire final exam, cut it out on camera, and just to make it harder on myself, this is a number 3 blade that I would normally use to do this because that's just what I use. I like number 3s. And this is a number 7 blade. Okay, now doing it with a number 7 blade would be a little bit more difficult because it's thicker. Okay, well, I'm going to really challenge myself and use this scroll saw blade that is for cutting very thick wood. These are all Flying Dutchman blades. So anyway, I'm going to give myself the big challenge, cut this out with the big fat blade. Okay, so anyway, let's get over to the saw and we'll go from there. I tried to get the camera as close as I possibly can so that you guys can see this. Since I'm using such a massive blade, when I come in here, this is the area I'm keeping, so I don't want to go past the little point there. Obviously, with this big of a saw blade, it's going to be extremely difficult to turn and get it up there. So what we need to do is we just need to nibble away this corner. So what I'm going to do is give myself, take this whole area out just by nibbling it away so that then I can get my blade flat and then start attacking the cut this way. So let's go give that a shot and see what it looks like. And I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way so you guys can see this, but there's just more challenges for me. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to nibble. Come back. Nibble, make sure I don't go into my line until I get to the point where I can actually turn this massive blade around. Okay, let's see how that does. And always when you're turning, keep your blade running. Okay, so now we can turn. Now you can see it's flat to the line here now. See how it's flat? So now we just go on with the rest of our cut. Okay, now on this one, again, being the blade so big, I gotta nibble out this way. Okay, I gotta nibble out quite a bit because the blade being so fat. But we can still do this just like you can with any other blade. You just gotta nibble a little bit more. And just in case you're wondering if I forgot about the little veining line, I didn't. But instead of having to nibble more out, I'll just come back to it after I cut that waist piece off. So let's get back to it. Okay. So here, in order to... Now, normally you wouldn't have to do this much nibbling in order to allow for turning. I apologize for any bumps or jiggles in the camera. It's just, it's right next to my leg and I'm kind of cramped. It's making it a little difficult to do this. Okay, so here we go. So now I've got my little slot nibbled out. So now I just turn the blade around. And you know what? That wasn't enough. I needed to nibble down here. Well, it was just a bit of a brain fart on my part. Okay, we got to do this the exact same way we did the first one on the first V. Now we can get in there and get it. Now we're going to do a big loop. Okay, there's our loop. So now we just come in and follow the little line. Here we have another turning area where I need to make room for my blade. There again, in order to make tight turns like this, okay, so there's our waist piece. And now as you can see, we got pretty perfect. Let's look at it from the back. It's an ugly piece of wood, so don't pay attention to that. It's just a piece of scrap. But you can see there's absolutely nothing wrong with those. You can see there's no going past the lines. Whoops, I forgot. I did end up forgetting to do the veining line. Let me do the veining line real quick. Okay, now on the second part, we're going opposite. This is going to be the keep area, and this is going to be the waist area down here. This one will just this is going to be a real test here. Okay, now what do we do? Well, easiest way, just come up here, catch the other side of the line going down. Okay, see if we got enough room to turn the blade around. Whoops, I didn't. I should have come back further. That was my bad. Failed my own exam. So it just shows it's just a matter of looking at what you have facing you. Anticipating your cuts before you get to them. Okay. There's a tight little turn here. Just take it nice and slow, because gotta let the blade get the wood out of the way. If you try to turn this hard, you're going to possibly break the blade, even though it would take a Herculean effort to break this blade. But smaller blades, you can definitely break it by trying to make that corner too fast. Good. We can either loop, but with this big a blade, it's easier not to loop. It's easier to nibble a bigger slot. Okay, we gotta nibble another spot. Since I've got this up here, come up here and spin around. Come back to my line. Another tight little Just take our time and go slow. I have my saws, the speed of the saw set at like 3/4 speed. This is not something you want to try to do with full speed. This makes it much more difficult to do. If I slowed my saw down a little more, this might even be easier. And I wouldn't have stupid little mistakes like that. Okay, so now we're going to cut this out. And this is going to be our teak piece, so let's just go ahead and get rid of that. And here's there, you can see that came out pretty good. You know, I had a couple little issues there, but again, it's a lot more difficult when you got cameras and everything in your way while you're doing this. And plus I haven't had any beer yet. Always seem to cut much better with a few beers in me. Yes, I was resolving that issue right then. Okay, let's get this finished up here. Oh, just so you know, because this is all waste area here, obviously you can't cut a line and empty space. So I just redrew this line over here, and we'll just ignore that line. I'll come down here, cut this out, and then come out that way. Alright, here we go. We just barely made that turn with this plate. We're going to get this moving along a little bit quicker. I'll do a little less talking, a little more cutting. Well, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty while filming that last little bit there. The camera stopped running, so you didn't get to see the last little bit of the cut. But believe me, I did it. I finished it, and I even did cut the other veining line. But anyway, now typically, obviously, you're not going to use a blade like this. This blade's not meant to do what I just did with it. It's meant to cut big straight lines on big thick wood. I just wanted to show that you should be able to use any blade to make cuts like this. You know, obviously the smaller the blade, the easier it's going to be to make all those tight little turns and stuff. And you won't have to go through quite as much trouble as I did, you know, with this blade. But anyway, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. Or you can email me. I'm going to look at the end of the video. I have my email address there. And I want to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to my channel. And the response I'm getting is pretty cool. I never expected quite this much. So thank you. I appreciate your actually sitting through watching my videos. I never actually thought somebody would actually want to look at me. But you never know. Anyway, good luck, and we'll catch you in the next video.